A warm greeting. Today is Saturday, July 27, 2024. This is meteorologist Ruben Garcia. In today's video, I'll be giving an update on a disturbance we are closely monitoring in the northeastern Caribbean. This disturbance will be interacting with a tropical wave over the next few days, and by mid to late next week, it could approach as a strong tropical wave in the northeastern Caribbean. This morning, the National Hurricane Center increased the chances of developing a tropical depression to 30% as it moves west-northwest. It's important for interests in the northern Lesser Antilles, Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, Haiti, Cuba, Jamaica, and the Bahamas to stay tuned to the evolution of this disturbance. In the last 24 hours, there have been no significant changes in the forecast. Look at the European model projection where we have the disturbance near longitude 45 degrees west and the tropical wave near Cape Verde. Both systems will interact with each other from Tuesday to Wednesday, eventually gaining some organization by Wednesday or Thursday as it passes near or over the northeastern Caribbean. Though wind shear won't be a problem since it will be below normal, dry air remains the biggest impediment to rapid strengthening. Hence, gradual organization is expected as it moves over the Greater Antilles. Ocean surface temperatures are extremely warm, especially west of longitude 55 degrees west, and once this tropical wave reaches this area, it may find better conditions for development. Currently, it is forecasted to pass as a strong tropical wave in the northern Lesser Antilles, Puerto Rico, and the Dominican Republic between Wednesday and Thursday of next week. In the long term, if it takes a more northerly trajectory, it could find better conditions to develop into a tropical storm near or over the Bahamas. We still don't know if it will move northwest or closer to the Florida Peninsula. So, for residents of Florida, the Bahamas, and Cuba, there is still much uncertainty in this forecast. Let's look at the global model projections, starting with the GFS model. It consistently shows a tropical wave or perhaps a tropical depression passing over Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands on Thursday morning, potentially bringing heavy rains and significant rainfall accumulations, which we will analyze further in this video. For the weekend, the GFS model keeps this disturbance relatively weak due to its trajectory over Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, and Cuba. If this trajectory holds, land interaction could weaken the system and reduce development chances. However, if it maintains a more northerly path, staying over Atlantic waters, it could find better conditions for development, as projected by the European model. The European model also agrees with the GFS model that it should reach the northeastern Caribbean near or over Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands on Thursday morning as a tropical wave, or possibly a tropical depression. In the long term, unlike the American model, the GFS has a more northerly trajectory over the Bahamas, allowing the tropical wave to stay over water longer and develop into a tropical depression or tropical storm over the Bahamas on Saturday morning. Therefore, residents of the Bahamas and Florida should closely monitor the evolution of this tropical wave, in case it develops into a tropical storm in about 7 to 8 days. In general, other models also agree with these projections. The UK model shows a strong tropical wave or tropical depression moving over the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico on Thursday morning. The German model also shows a strong tropical wave crossing over or near Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic between Wednesday and Thursday of next week. So, in general, we can conclude that the chances of development remain low at the moment. I suspect the National Hurricane Center will maintain a 30% chance of development in the 8 p.m. bulletin, especially when few members of the GFS model develop a tropical cyclone, but over the Bahamas region and not before reaching Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic. However, members of the European model are a bit more aggressive, with most of them developing a tropical depression north of the Dominican Republic and eventually taking a northwestern trajectory. Some members even show a tropical storm or hurricane developing southeast of the United States. But this is a long-term forecast that we will continue to monitor in the coming days, especially due to the significant uncertainty between the GFS and European model members. In terms of probabilities, the European model has between 65% to 70% chance of developing a tropical depression north of Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic. For this reason, the National Hurricane Center maintains a 30% chance of development in this area. Although we do not anticipate cyclonic development before it crosses near or over Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic, heavy rains are expected, which could cause flooding issues between Wednesday and Friday of next week. Let's look at some anticipated effects. Here we have the GFS model's accumulated rainfall projection. For the northern Lesser Antilles, 30 to 50 millimeters of accumulated rainfall is projected between Wednesday and Thursday of next week. For Puerto Rico, 2 to 4 inches of rain, especially in the eastern parts of the island, mainly falling next Thursday. Heavy rains are expected for the Dominican Republic between Thursday and Friday, with 60 to 75 millimeters affecting at least half of the country. In terms of wind gusts, the latest GFS model projections show relatively mild winds between 20 to 25 miles per hour, so wind won't be a major concern for the northern Lesser Antilles, Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, or the Dominican Republic. If the tropical wave maintains a more northerly trajectory, the heaviest rains could stay over Atlantic waters, with 70 to 75 millimeters of accumulated rainfall north of the Lesser Antilles, Puerto Rico, and the Dominican Republic. In this case, the European model projects 30 to 50 millimeters for the northern Lesser Antilles, 1 to 2 inches for Puerto Rico, and 30 to 40 millimeters for the Dominican Republic, with tropical depression strength wind gusts north of the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, and the Virgin Islands if the tropical wave maintains its trajectory just north of the region. In conclusion, in the northeastern Caribbean, we will continue to monitor the evolution of this disturbance, especially between Monday and Tuesday when it begins interacting with the tropical wave emerging from Africa. Although we do not project it to become a tropical depression before reaching the region, it promises to bring heavy rains that could cause some flooding problems between Wednesday and Friday of next week. In the long term, it is important for residents of Florida and the Bahamas to monitor the evolution of this system in case it finds better conditions to develop into a tropical storm. Here at Hurricane Info, we will continue to stay alert to keep you informed. To ensure you don't miss any of the videos I'll be recording in the coming days, I invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Go to the bottom of the video, click the red subscribe button, and then click the bell to receive notifications when I upload new videos. Well, I'll say goodbye now. I hope everyone has an excellent weekend.